Give it up for Daniel. Give it up for Daniel.
Hello, guys. My name is Daniel. I don't know if you guys. All right. So today I'll be talking about maximizing your output as a professional. But before I go forward, small introduction. Apart from the 23X, my name is Daniel, and I'm a product designer at Meta. Thank you. So before we get started, I want you guys to pay attention. So this is going to be a little bit interactive. So I would ask some questions. You guys would also talk to me back. You reply. Who knows this bridge? Like, if you know this bridge, just raise up your hand. What bridge is this? Okay. But who knows what it took to build this bridge? What did it take to build this bridge? There's no wrong answer, so you can just answer me. Anybody? Money. Okay. But basically, what it took to build this bridge is this. So it takes resources plus time, and it gives you output, great output. And basically, what that means is if you are given a task or a project, and you need to deliver results, so you have two things. You have resources, which is the effort that it to take, and you also have time. And this formula has helped me to 23x my salary and just propel my career basically. And I'm here to just explain a little bit about like some tips about some of the things. So I keep getting people telling me, Daniel, I want to 23x my salary. Oh, Daniel, I want to do this. I don't know, man. You might not 23x, but probably 40 it. But yeah. But then, what did it take to build this bridge? I thought you guys just said money. Are you saying there was no money involved in this? Nah. They didn't use that formula. They clearly didn't use that formula. Now, this is where it gets engaging. So you guys are going to do me a favor, right? I want you to read this, like silently, like you don't have to shout, just read it silently. But then the main task here is I want you to check how many F's do you have in this statement? F's, letter F. How many F do you have in this statement? No, just calm down. 5 seconds. Are you done? So if you can see 3 F's, raise up your hands. If you can see 4, if you can see 5, and if you can see 6, so there are actually 6 F's in this statement. So cover your eyes. If you said 3, 4, 5, just close your eyes. But basically, like, the smartest people in this room were not as effective in this activity, and it's not because you couldn't see. The honest truth is little things actually make big differences. Like, it will make big difference in being effective. And what does that mean? So I broke this down into four parts. We have honesty, communication, transparency, and gratification. And what does it mean? So being honest means, so it generally just means like you should know your capacity. And this doesn't mean you should always belittle yourself. When you get a project or you are like hired into a team, just understand your capacity, know your limits, know your weaknesses as well, or your team's weakness. So sometimes people meet you and say, I want you to get this done. So I expect you to always, there's something I always do before. I know my capacity, right? I know, okay, I can always design things. I used to be a front-end engineer, by the way. And I would say, yeah, I'll just do this thing in 2 days, right? Without taking time to actually break down what it takes to build that particular thing. So what I do now is I just say, let me get back to you next minute. I mean, this is confidence anyway, but I'll get back to you. I mean, you won't die if you don't get the response on that spot. So I think being honest just helps you maximize your capacity. It helps you maximize your output, and it also helps you, like, it gives you this kind of seriousness as a professional. Another thing you should always do is when you get a project, you should always focus on what's achievable first. Like, you want to build that bridge, Ikoyi Bridge. Don't, don't just, don't focus on the hard part. I think you should focus on the part that you feel is most feasible for you, right? And there's something my boss will always say: put in low effort. Like, think of what you can put low effort in and to give you great result, and also high effort that will give you greater results. Communication. This part, I am still learning. I am still struggling. So I think when you work in a team, either in a startup or you're working in a bigger organization or an enterprise, you should always be as clear as possible. Try and always, like, just speak English, simple English. Don't try to complicate things. Be as crystal as possible. Then call out lags. This part is very critical. So let's look at this scenario here. Someone asks you to do something, and you promise to deliver that thing on Friday, right? So today is Monday, and you have 5 days to work on it. Then something happens, or maybe you realize that you underestimated time. So one thing we professionals always do is we always underestimate time. So we'd assume based on, so someone will tell you as a professional, you should always know when it will take to finish something. That's a lie. You can, I mean, to a great extent, you definitely know, but there are some known unknowns and unknown knowns as well. So always call out lags, hiccups, immediately they occur. So the moment you realize that maybe on Wednesday, it will take me an extra 2 days to finish this work, just call it out. Call your manager, tell your team, tell them, okay, we need to actually improvise, or we need to actually extend timelines. Transparency. I tweeted something recently, and I was like, spend more time doing the work, performing the work, than talking about it. So the honest truth is, all the time you spend prioritizing like your work is actually the time you're spending doing it. So if you're going to spend 2 days to strategize the work that should be done, you've spent 2 days doing the work. So don't waste time. But one thing you should always do is try and be as transparent as possible. And how do you do this? First of all, you write your plan. So what you should always do is the moment you get a project or a task or anything basically, write down the goals of that project. So I'm going to do X, Y, Z, right? Write an agenda during, so most times you might probably not get this responsibility if you're not the lead, but there are often times where you need to present to stakeholders. It could be CEOs, it could be CTOs, it could be management, and you want to show them maybe part of the work you've done or the full work you've done. One thing you should always expect is these guys will always interrupt you. Like, they would always come out and say, yeah, I don't understand this part. I think what you should do is write an agenda for that meeting and share it with everyone that will attend. So they know exactly, in bullet points, we are going to cover introduction, we're going to cover this, we're going to cover that. Write the agenda, share it with them, and let them know that, okay, this is how I want to run the meeting, because it's your meeting. So be confident. And this third part, it says minimize interruptions. Trust me, they would always interrupt. There's always that person in the team that wants to actually, the person who asks you the most redundant question ever. And what you should always do is, when those questions come, group them. So say, yeah, I understand you, I hear you, but we'll attend to that later, right? So you write agenda 1, answering questions. Then you tell the person, if another interruption comes again, tell them, I would actually reach out to you later, or we can maybe sync after the call. Because you want to be on point with you, like you said, with bullet point 2, which is the agenda of the meeting, of the stakeholders meeting. And the last one, celebrate milestones, to be honest. So one thing I've always tried to do now is once I hit milestone, I just do something nice for myself. It could be sleep or Capri Sun. Trust me, I'm an advocate for Capri Sun. You always find Capri Sun in my fridge at home. And I think, so let me give you a quick story. There was one time we wanted to work on a project called Nabob. That was like my early days, I think 2016 or 2017 as a developer. And we had no idea how to actually build this thing. It was a loan application for microfinance banks. And they reached out to my friend and said, because we literally just built our Hello World first application like a week before, and we're already taking projects. So we went into like this very popular microfinance bank, and they were like CEOs and all that. And I wore my star shirt with my tie. Then we got there. And they were asking us questions. And with confidence, we were like, yeah, we'll do it. Man, we know nothing. Like, we only know how to write Hello World in JavaScript. And we took the project. It was a mobile application then. And we started watching YouTube overnight. How to build one part, how to build the second part. And we told them it was going to take a year to build the product. And my guy said, oh, it will take us 1 year. And the man was like, are you crazy? 1 year, what are we doing? So they said, they'll give us 3 months to build. And we looked at ourselves like, ah. So I came, after after the meeting, we were at the reception, so we were just talking. And I told them, no, guys, let's not do this here. Let's go outside. So we didn't have a car then. So what we did was, we went to the bus stop with our ties and our shirt. And we're like, guy, I don't want to do this thing. And my friend said, guy, there's YouTube there. And I said, wow, okay, no problem. So we go home, we started watching all the videos you can find on YouTube. And boy, we did crap. Like, that project, I think we built that project for 13 months before they threatened to arrest us with police. Like, we kept on building this project, and the problem then was they kept on adding things to the project. So they'll say, oh, we want this feature and this feature, and I'm like, no problem, bring it. And we kept doing it. So when they paid us our 50% of the project, we were scared to keep the money. So we had this, this box that usually keep money inside. Colo, yes. So we could, because I think it was about 50K at the time, and we can't squeeze 50K inside. So we broke the thing, put the 50K inside, and covered it and locked it. And said, you know what, guys, just in case they arrest us, we have to return this money. So, and we had no money, right? So everyone was, I remember my friend was telling me that time that, oh my guy, where do we go to? And we needed data. So we would take part of the money, buy data. And we were watching YouTube. So we would subscribe for 1 month, and it would last 2 days. So we spent about, I think, the first month watching YouTube. Like 1 month out of 3 months. We're just watching YouTube, writing small code. There were, like, bugs just kept on piling and piling. Then one day I told my friend, I'm going to go to that office and tell the man that, sir, we are sorry, we want to return your money. And my friend said, nah, we should not do that. So we now built one part of the project that worked. Then we all left and went to like a booker. And we ordered all sorts of things. We ordered amala and all that, and we ate, and we were very okay. Then we went to do a presentation to the management. They liked it, surprisingly. So there was a day we were supposed to present to Remita. I don't know if you guys know Remita, system spec, yeah. So we needed to do like a presentation to them. And the application that we had tested at home that worked didn't work anymore. So we just kept on telling them 1 second. And the man said, okay, no problem. Then 10 minutes later, we're like, 1 second, sir. And it was at that place I realized that, fam, we plan to fail in this project. So what I'm just saying in essence is, don't take projects that you can't do. Someone reached out to me last week, and she wanted to take a project, a Webflow project, and she just started design. And I told her for a fact, I said, I don't think you should take it, not because I'm discouraging you, but because one thing you want to try and avoid is blocking your mode of survival within the industry just because of greed, right? Because what you would have done is you have taken that project to have lagged just like us, right? I mean, today I'm not a developer anymore for good reasons. So, I'm done. All right. So anyway, reward yourself and thank you. I always say this, be an overachiever. Anywhere I work, I'll outdo everybody, like myself, my peer, even my old self, myself of yesterday, I will outdo that person. So be an overachiever. All right. Thank you. My name is Daniel. You can follow me on Twitter if you don't already do. Thank you.